In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness there is no God but God, and God is the only one who has a right to be worshipped. I also bear witness that Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Moses are the messengers of God, and I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected Satan. So in this particular video, I'll be discussing sort of what the future world is going to look like with Imam Mahdi the Mashiach, sort of things to expect. I've accumulated a lot of knowledge from the Islamic sources and from the Jewish sources. I've accumulated a lot of information, and just in this video try to just kind of look at what the kind of game plan is, what kind of this future world will kind of look like, what to expect as certain probabilities. So we know that Imam Mahdi the Mashiach, from all different types of sources, will bring about global peace, global justice, global harmony and abundance globally to the whole world that was previously filled with injustices, corruption, tyranny, and oppression, as we can see now. Now, there is no government, there is no state on this entire earth that judges according to divine law, which automatically makes every government, every political leader that leads these governments very corrupt and very oppressive, because they do not judge according to divine law, as Allah says in chapter 5 verse 45, and whomsoever does not judge according to the laws which Allah has revealed, it is these who are very unjust. Now we know Imam Mahdi the Mashiach will judge the Christians according to their section of scripture, which is the Gospels of Jesus and the Torah as well. So it'll be a combination of the two, as Jesus himself came to fulfill the law of Moses, which was the laws revealed to Moses, peace and blessings be upon them. Judge the Jews according to the Torah, and judge the Muslims according to the Quran. So, as we know from the sources of Imam Mahdi Mashiach, that Imam Mahdi Mashiach will be universal, will be for all the nations, for all the peoples, all the tribes of this earth. Will be sort of a universal universal saint, and will help establish the divine laws of God on this earth. So we'll establish a divine state in Israel for the Jews. We'll establish a divine state for the Muslims, and we'll establish a divine state for the Christians as well. And we'll be and in a future point, as Imam Mahdi Mashiach establishes these states, as things proceed, Jesus will also appear, will be sent by God the Most High, and will probably take over leadership roles for certain sections of humanity as well. So every Christian should want Imam Mahdi the Mashiach to come to facilitate and to help establish divine laws on this earth, and which will help Jesus to appear as well, to be sent down from the Most High. So I'm just getting a little bit ahead of myself, but that's the basic structure. So Imam Mahdi the Mashiach will have to be well versed in the Quran and the Torah, as well as the Gospels of Jesus. Be somewhat of a scholar in all these fields, have a very good understanding of divine law, as Allah, to have an authentic leader, one must have the right capabilities to lead, and this is one who is extremely guided by the Most High, and has the correct knowledge to rule, which is to have a vast knowledge in divine law, and have that developed within one's own soul or one's own character, to be a successful leader. So what is future world will kind of look like? Well, it's hard to understand this because we've been living in oppressive states and governments. Like I said, there is no divine state on this earth right now, And from my understanding, from accumulating all the knowledge of Imam Mahdi and the Mashiach from all different sources, um, this divine state will not come out of any particular country, will not come out of any particular government. Imam Mahdi Mashiach is not going to come into a particular government or state and transform it. What's going to happen is it's going to be a grassroots group of people will come together, will swear allegiance to Imam Mahdi Mashiach. Imam Mahdi Mashiach will at first refuse to accept this leader role because of the vast, huge responsibility of uh, taking that position, and will be probably very humble and not really think that that he is that particular person. So, as we know from the hadith of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, um, the way that will happen will Imam Mashiach will be sort of fleeing away from a group of people trying to harass him or threaten him, because Imam Mashiach is starting to be recognized. People are having dreams indicating that this person is Imam Mahdi the Mashiach, etc., etc., and people will start swearing allegiance to this person, and a large group of people will start swearing allegiance to him at the Kaaba, the building that Abraham, peace and blessings be upon him, built a house for God in the city of Mecca. And there people will start swearing allegiance to Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach. And this will start spreading like wildfire. And the leadership of the area of Saudi Arabia at that time will send a so-called Muslim army to attack Imam Mahdi at the Kaaba. So there'll be a very large Muslim army out to attack Imam Mahdi, the Mashiach. He will not have an army at that time. He will be basically on his own. He will have several people, groups of people swearing allegiance to him, but will have no government, will have no state at that point, and will have no army. So God the Most High will protect Imam Mahdi the Mashiach and swallow that entire army except for a few people who will then be first hand will be witnesses firsthand of what occurred, and will spread the news. And this will also spread like wildfire, will be the one of the major signs to indicate who is Imam Mahdi the Mashiach. So as we know from Jewish sources that and from Islamic sources that we know that Imam Mahdi Mashiach will fight the wars of God, will fight for the people of God, and will fight to establish divine law in the Holy Land. So that's initially how it will start. It will start from grassroots. It will not come out of any country. And, all these countries, their original roots are corrupted, so it's not the best optimal way to go in within a country and then transform it from within. Basically, it's going to start fresh. It's going to start a whole new state will rise. A state will eventually be established in Jerusalem for the Israelis, and Imam Mahdi Mashiach will judge according to the Torah, will establish the Torah as the rule of law. For the Muslims in the Muslim countries, in the Muslim areas, Imam Mahdi Mashiach will establish the Quran as the rule of law, and for the Christian areas, will establish the Gospels of Jesus as well as the Torah for their rule of law. So that is sort of another general look at what's going to happen, and take a deeper look at sort of the laws that will be implemented in these divine states. That obviously the main core of these divine states is to take care of the needy people, take care of the orphans, the widows, disabled. You make sure people are healed, make sure all people are well fed. all the basic needs of the people will be taken care of. Taxation will be very, very low. It'll be a form of a charitable tax. Most likely will be non-compulsory. That'll be your choice to pay into a tax. If obviously you're too poor to pay, you will have to pay any taxes. Obviously, you will definitely pay no taxes. This is more for the well-off people who want to give their excess wealth to charity, to the state, so the state can help take care of the needy people. So travel will be very open and free. Will not need all sorts of licenses and stickers and insurances to travel. All this is weapons to enslave humanity with. The only way that your travel could be restricted is if you're causing corruption in the land of some sort, trespassing on people's private property, things like that. But if you're traveling within harmony, within balance, in the common areas, travel will be free. There'll be no restriction when it comes to travel, as long as it's done not violating other divine laws. Trade will be very open as well. Will not need all sorts of licenses and registrations to do business. Will be very free market. There'll be no interest on the money. Interest will be abolished. Usury will be also abolished. Fiat currencies will be abolished. It'll be going more back to a gold and silver form of trading. Things that are actually backed up by commodities. So it'll be a commodity-based trade system, preferably through gold and silver, but for more long-distance transactions, more international transactions. I believe a form of cryptocurrency that is in alignment and harmony with divine law could be used. A cryptocurrency that is backed up by a commodity or some sort of thing like that could be used for more convenient transactions. So stuff that is cannot be manipulated, cannot be inflated, things of that nature. So there is no theft through inflation or theft through interest and usury of these kinds. So it will be a very prosperous way to live. It'll be a charity-based state that take care of the needy people first, and this will, as through divine law, this will actually increase the wealth of the people. The wealth will circulate through all the people, not just the rich, and so this will create a very balanced and equitable way to trade and be fair for all peoples. So things will obviously be in harmony. Technologies is very important for a divine law to understand, to always maintain the law of harmony and balance. So all food products, all manufacturing products, commercial products, all different types of products will have to be in harmony with divine law and in harmony with human beings and nature itself. Products that are harmful to the environment or harmful to human beings or are not lawful in general will not be accepted in this divine state. That only new tech, if they're old technologies, will be phasing them out and implementing more newer technologies that are in harmony with nature and with human beings and with divine law. So there will be state agencies to overlook things that are in harmony or things that are not in harmony. There'll be sort of a judicial system that will come from the Torah, which will assign judges and officers to uphold these divine laws. these divine laws will be educated in the educational systems, and things that are of benefit, to help further advance the nations, to help further advance the nations, materially and spiritually. So all things within the divine state will be beneficial for all people. It'll be a huge transformation from what we experience in this day and age, where we're very restricted to travel, restricted to trade. We're not even allowed to trade in gold and silver. That is they've committed shirk, associating partners with God, making it forbidden to trade with gold and silver. Um, they deal in interest. It's a debt slavery system. So this is going to be a radically new way to live, all according to divine laws. It'll be all clear, or all be laid out. Um, and I'm in the process of actually making a divine book, accumulating and organizing uh, the divine laws and commandments of the Most High in a book. It's organized to be easy to access and learn these divine laws. So I'm making a Quran edition and also a Torah edition. So I'm working on that to help bring about this new divine state. What role I'll play. That is, I hope I'll have a role to play in that in some shape, way, or form, inshallah. That's why I do this, make these videos to help spread the knowledge and to educate the people about divine law. And the benefits of living through divine law is far superior than living through man's made-up laws that basically only benefit a few at the expense of the great many of the people here. So obviously we want to implement divine law because the Most High is omnipotent, knows all, has clear knowledge of all things from the beginning of time to future times. Allah knows what's in our hearts more than we know our own selves. So, the God, Allah, the Most High Source, the Creator of all things, uh, his, his essence is in everything. Allah has the perspective from every atom in the entire universe and through the multiverse. Like I said, Allah knows all things from the beginning of time. So why not take His divine laws? Obviously, the Most High knows best, and nothing exists outside of the Most High. So we are all enveloped in the essence of God. Everything around us, every individual around us, every animate object, everything within the universe has the essence of God. So one of the things that Imam Mahdi the Mashiach will bring this essence of God deeper within the creation. The light of God will permeate more powerfully and more beautifully and more harmoniously within creation. And this is obviously done by doing what Allah makes lawful and staying away from the unlawful things that Allah forbids. So I didn't want to make this too long a video. I just want to give sort of an overlook in what the future world will kind of look like through divine laws. Things to look for. Imam Mahdi the Mashiach will be a Quranic and Torah and Gospel of Jesus scholar to varying degrees. Will rule over the nations through divine law, establishing a Jewish state for the Jews, establishing a Muslim state for the Muslims, and establishing a divine state for the Christians. And obviously this will be extremely beneficial. People will feel very liberated in these divine states. This is what we were meant to. This is what we were designed for. This is what we were meant for, and this is to fulfill prophecy and to experience the truth and to gain large amounts of wisdom. And that we all realize that we're all one within the Creator of the universe. and we should not be separated in the way spiritually that if you're Jew, Christian, or Muslim, that we are all believers in the same God. We've all been created by the same God. We may look differently, we may sound differently, but our hearts are connected as believers. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope um, that this divine state can be established now, inshallah, as soon as possible. That people will turn back to the Most High, will see God in creation, that God is the creator of all things, has power over all things, and is the designer of us all, and that Allah will perfect our light, will increase our knowledge and understanding, and perfect our character, so that we may live a most beautiful and harmonious life in this world and in the next. Take care. Peace.